Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're finally making headway, and I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am for the 2019 racing season coming up. So in this video, we're going to cover the last of the fabrication inside the car, like the cage, the anti-roll bar, stuff like that. Get that stuff knocked out, because once that's done, then it's really going to start looking like something. So the coolest part about all this is that for those of you who have followed along since the beginning, you'll remember the blue car and some of the sheet metal work I did in the back. Well, I saved the templates for that stuff. So making the templates for this car is already halfway done, and I haven't even touched it yet. That's the best part about it. So check it out. I'm gonna grab them real quick. So like this stuff, for example, these are the rear templates for the package tray right above the back seat. Already has all my notes on it, already has all the dimensions. Half the work is saved. It's done. So let's get started on that. All right. So I want the cage to land in exactly the same place it was in the other car, which won't be too difficult. These cardboard pieces were cut very precisely. So we're going to put some witness lines on here. So we know where everything goes. Okay, so at the very least, we got to cut these slots out of here for the bars to pass through the package tray. And in this case, they don't need to be very accurate slots. In fact, we probably want them kind of sloppy so we have a little bit of room to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut those out, and then we're gonna start fitting the back bars to it and get the crossbar mounted in the trunk. All right, so here it is. It's a couple days later. I didn't record a lot of what I just did because there's no room for me in the car, much less me and the camera and trying to work around it and stuff. But I am going to show you the finished product. So in that particular step, what I did was I installed the anti-roll bar, the crossbar in the trunk for the down bars of the cage, which are all in it, and then part of the crossbar. So I'm going to grab the camera, bring it over here so you can get a look at it, and then we'll move on to the next part. All right, so check it out. Let me see if I can point this stuff out. So the crossbar for the cage is in there. These are the down bars that go to the back of the car, or the back of the original cage, and then right here and right here is the anti-roll bar installed, and then you can see it's welded in place up there as well. Okay, so the biggest parts of the fabrication are done. The back bars, the crossbar, the stuff that I just showed you. So now all that's left is this bar that's going to go from here to the back of the cage on both sides. And then the majority of the fabrication is done, except for mounting the fuel cell, that'll be quick and easy. So we're finally making some progress. I'm pleased with it. I'm really looking forward to firing this thing up, hopefully soon. So let's move on to the next part. All right, so we have to do a little trip across town to go to my buddy's place to use this tubing bender. We got to make the drive shaft loop for the front, get the cross member put in, and the fabrication part of it is just about done. So huge steps towards getting to the fun stuff. All right, so in this video, I skipped around all the welding because there was so much of it, and it takes so much filming time, and it gets really boring to just watch it over and over. But what I want to show you is that everything inside the car is welded now, complete. The one thing that I talked about earlier was this bar right here that goes to the back. All that stuff is put in, completely welded, ready to go. So I've started putting the interior together as well, and I'm going to pick the camera up, take it to the back of the car, and kind of show you what we did back there. Pretty cool stuff. Got a whole lot done. So, all right, now what you're looking at is all of the sheet metal is in the back of the trunk, and there's some bracing underneath here that the fuel cell mounts to. As you can see, the bars go down into the trunk now. The crossbar is in, which I showed earlier in the video. battery tray, not mounted yet, but that's where it's going to sit, which looks like it's just out of view of the camera, but it's right here in the corner. Air tank, air compressor, and for those of you who aren't really familiar with the turbo cars, we usually use CO2 assisted boost controllers that use pressure on top of the wastegate to control boost. I really hate dealing with the CO2 bottle and ice and water and all that jazz. So I've converted it over to an air ride tank is really all it is. So we'll be able to use it for the boost controller and to air the tires up in the staging lanes. Super, super handy. I can't take any credit for that. That idea actually came from Boosted GT. He's had that on his car for years. So anyways, on to the next step. All right, so another quick view under the car so you can kind of see what's going on. There's all the bracing for the fuel cell and for the battery and all that stuff over on that side. And I think if you look close, way up here, the drive shaft loop is already in place. So yeah, everything welding wise is done in the car. Maybe very few exceptions. Okay guys, so I officially think we can say we're past the hard part. The really big pieces that are left are going to be plumbing, wiring, and the turbo kit. Outside of that, everything is pretty much fabricated. And I think you can see it in some of the clips earlier, but the back part of the interior even has the plastic and stuff inside of it, which is right around this area right here. That was a feat in itself. So the reason why I'm going through the trouble of putting the plastic and stuff back in it is that we plan on running the street classes with this car, and a lot of them require full interior, all the headliner and the back seats. Even though you can't fit an infant in there, they want it in there. Whatever. So having said all that, next steps I think we're going to do, I'm looking at my list of to-do things over there, and it's going to be painting the plastics, painting the cage, getting the carpet and the headliner and all that stuff put in it, and then putting the back glass back in and on the fun stuff. So that's it for this video. I know I skipped around a lot, but I wanted to give you guys the end result and not the minutes and minutes and minutes of welding, which is really hours and hours and hours. But nonetheless, all that stuff is done. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to drop a comment down below, give it a thumbs up, share it with your buddies, and follow us on Instagram. For those of you who don't know, there is an Instagram account, and it's the same as this one, DIY_garage_TX. From there, you will see pictures of all the projects we're working on throughout the week, and eventually they come to a video. So check it out. We'll see you guys in the next one. I appreciate you stopping by.